Hello children, today we are going to learn a new lesson, that is microbes in human welfare. This lesson is all about microbes which is there for the benefit of human beings. So microbes in human welfare. So what are microbes? Microbes are tiny organisms which we cannot see with the naked eye. In order to see this organism, we require microscope. So with the aid of microscope only we can see these microorganisms. Now when we talk about these microbes like bacteria, viruses, protozoans, fungi and helminthes, one thing comes in our mind that these organisms are harmful for human beings in one or the other way. Either it causes illness or it may contaminate food and water which we consume, and they are harmful for human beings. In the previous chapter you have studied various types of microbes. This causes deadly diseases. Dear children, there are certain microbes which is present in this environment that is beneficial for human beings. In this chapter, we are going to study about those microbes. We focus on those microbes which is beneficial for human beings. There are certain areas where these microbes produces various products which is useful for human being. Now we will see one by one. The first one is microbes in household products. There are so many products produced in our house which is produced by these microbes. We will see one by one. Curd. How the curd is produced? Curd is produced from milk. Who is responsible for that? That is lactobacillus. So curd is formed by adding bacteria such as lactobacillus and others, commonly called as lactic acid bacteria or LAB in milk. A small amount of curd is added to the fresh milk as a starter, which contains millions of lactic acid bacteria. Now, this is how a curd is produced. This LAB or lactic acid bacteria is suitable, that means at suitable temperature, multiply and converts milk into curd, which also improves nutritional quality by increasing vitamin B12. During growth, LAB or lactic acid bacteria produces acid that coagulate and partially digest the milk proteins. Lactic acid bacteria also checks diseases causing microbes in the stomach. It also checks the microbes which causes diseases in the stomach. Next is dough. Dough is produced in our home as well as in bakeries. Dough is after production of the doughs or after preparation of the doughs, it is kept for some time. Why it is kept for some time? In order to raise. So this raising nature of this dough is caused due to yeast or bacteria. Now dough is formed by fermentation caused by bacteria and yeast. Dough used to make bread is fermented using baker's yeast. This baker's yeast is a fungi. The scientific name of this baker's yeast is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So this dough is made up of what? Maida, which consists of carbohydrate. So it converts carbohydrate into carbon dioxide. So due to the presence of carbon dioxide, which is released during the process of fermentation, gives the puffy appearance to dough. Batter of idli and dosha is fermented by bacteria. There is a bacteria, again the lactic acid bacteria is responsible for the puffy and soft nature of this idli and dosha. Okay, so this is about dough. third is toddy. Toddy is a traditional drink of southern India. It is made by fermentation of sap from palm trees by bacteria. A number of other drinks that is drinks and foods are also made by fermentation. Next is cheese. How the cheese is formed? Cheese is also obtained from milk. Actually, cheese, this milk, in the milk, lemon juice or vinegar is added as a starter to coagulate the milk. So after adding this vinegar and or you say lemon juice, what happened? The milk get coagulated and a solid and liquid part is formed. The liquid part is known as the whey, that is removed, and the solid part is used as a cheese. Now, this cheese is made by partial degradation of milk using different microbes. Now, the flavor and the taste of different types of cheese is due to the different types of microbes involved in the process. Now, you see this Swiss cheese is made by bacterium Propionibacterium shermani. It is a bacteria, Propionibacterium shermani. The large holes in this cheese are due to the production of large amount of carbon dioxide by the bacteria. There is another type of cheese that is called Roquefort cheese, is made by ripening with the fungi, that is Penicillium roquefort, to obtain a specific flavor. This fungi gives a specific flavor for this cheese. Next we will study the microbes in industrial products. So microbes are used in the products which is produced from the industrials. So many products are there which is where the microbes are involved in the production of this products. Now these microbes in industrial products have immense importance. The production of the product on industrial scales needs growing microbes in very large vessels called fermenters. First one is fermented beverages. So what is fermented beverages? Fermented beverages are wine, beer, whiskey, brandy and rum. Actually, these are obtained by fermenting malted cereals and fruit juice. This malted cereal consists of sugar, maltose, and fruit juice consists of fructose. On this maltose and fructose, a fungi, that is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, which is also known as brewer's yeast. We have studied baker's yeast, where this Saccharomyces cerevisiae is used to bake bread and all. Here it is used to make beverages. So this Saccharomyces cerevisiae converts this sugar into ethanol and carbon dioxide. Variety of alcoholic drinks depend on the type of the raw material used and the type of processing. Wine and beer are produced without distillation, and whiskey, brandy and rum are produced by distillation process. Second is antibiotics. Antibiotics are also produced in large quantity. Antibiotic, what is antibiotic? Anti means against, bio means life. These are chemical substances which are produced by some microbes and can kill or retard the growth of other disease causing microbes. Penicillin was the first antibiotic discovered by Alexander Fleming. Alexander Fleming accidentally discovered this antibiotic penicillin. We will see how he discovered it. Fleming discovered penicillin while working on Staphylococci bacteria. It is a bacteria on which he worked, that is Staphylococci bacteria. He observed a mold growing in one of his unwashed culture plates around which Staphylococci could not grow. He found out that it was due to a chemical produced by the mold. He named it penicillin after the mold Penicillium notatum. This is how he discovered the first antibiotic penicillin. Two scientists, that is Ernest Chain and Howard Florey, discovered the full potential of these antibiotics. So penicillin was extensively used during World War II, and Fleming, Chain and Florey were awarded Nobel Prize in the year 1945 for this discovery. Antibiotics are used to cure deadly diseases such as plague, whooping cough and diphtheria and leprosy. Okay, next is organic acid. So many different types of organic acids are produced by the microbes. We will see one by one. Now, the first one is citric acid. Citric acid is produced from Aspergillus niger, which is a fungi. Acetic acid, it is produced by Acetobacter aceti, which is a bacteria. Butyric acid, that is Clostridium butylicum, produces this butyric acid, which is also a bacteria. Lactic acid we have already studied, Lactobacillus, that this bacteria also produces this acid, lactic acid. Ethanol is a type of alcohol that is produced by Saccharomyces cerevisiae. We have already studied in beverages. A large scale of this ethanols are produced by Saccharomyces cerevisiae, which is a yeast, unicellular yeast. Next is enzymes. Enzymes, various types of enzymes are produced by microbes. First one is lipase enzyme. Lipase enzyme is used in detergents, formulations and helps in removing oily stains from the laundry. Okay. Now, oily stains can be removed by lipase enzyme. Okay. So, that lipase enzyme is used in detergents. Pectinase and protease used for clarifying bottle juices. When we buy bottle juices from market, the bottle juices are very clear. Okay, that clearness of this bottle juices is due to the addition of pectinase and proteases. Pectinase digests the pectin which is present in the cell wall of the plants, okay, and proteases digest the protein and it converted into amino acids. That is why the bottle juice are very clear. Now, next enzyme is streptokinase, that is produced by Streptococcus bacteria. This streptokinase acts as a clot buster. Actually, this removes the clots produced in the blood vessels, okay, and prevent heart attacks. So, we can say this removing clots from the blood vessels of patients who have undergone myocardial infarction leading to heart attack. The next one is bioactive molecules. So many bioactive molecules are produced from microbes. The first one is cyclosporin A. This cyclosporin A is produced by Trichoderma polysporum, which is a fungus. It is used as an immunosuppressive agent in organ transplant patients. Now, dear children, actually in our body there is a defense mechanism. That defense mechanism is known as immune system. That defense mechanism or the immune system will protect our body from the foreign particles. Now, a patient who needs a organ, okay, so what happens? They get that organ from a donor. So, the organ which they are getting from the donor is a foreign thing. So, the immune system will fight and damage that organ. So, at that time, after organ transplantation, immunosuppressive agents are given in order to suppress the immune system to prevent the damage of the organ. So, that immunosuppressive agent is cyclosporin A, which is produced by Trichoderma polysporum. The next one is statin. Statin is produced by Monoscus purpureus, which is also a yeast, that is fungus. is used as a blood cholesterol lowering agent. Statin is used as a blood cholesterol lowering agent. It acts by competitively inhibiting the enzymes responsible for the synthesis of cholesterol, which is these are the products which is produced by the microbes. Dear children, microbes are also used in the sewage treatment. So before entering into this topic, let us see what is a sewage. Sewage are the waste produced from the community. This waste consists of solid and liquid waste. We will see what are the composition present in this sewage. It consists of a large amount of human excreta, animal excreta, and organic matters and pathogens. Pathogen, that is microbes which causes diseases. So these sewages are removed from the community and where it's to be disposed. It cannot be disposed in the water bodies. Why? If it is disposed in the water bodies, what will happen? Water get polluted. So if we drink or use for bathing purposes or washing purposes, it will cause waterborne diseases. Okay, so we can't dispose these sewages directly into the water bodies like river, lake, sea and all. So before disposing or releasing these sewages into the water bodies, it has to be treated. How it is treated? It is treated by means of sewage treatment plant. So these sewages are transported through the sewage treatment plant and it is treated. There are two steps in the treatment of sewage, that is primary treatment and secondary treatment. I will explain you in detail about the sewage treatment. Sewage treatment plant, in this plant there are two treatment takes place. That means there are two steps, that is primary treatment and second is the secondary treatment. The first primary treatment is also known as physical treatment. So here in this physical treatment or primary treatment, first of all the waste material from the cities and towns, it is passed through a mesh like structure. It is passed through a mesh so that the floating waste materials are separated. That process is known as filtration. Okay, the floating heavy solid materials are separated by a filtration process, and this after that the liquid waste are allowed to pass through into a tank which is known as primary settling tank. In this tank it is allowed to settle for some time. So what happens? Sedimentation takes place. So that is grits, small pebbles, sand get settled at the bottom and it is known as the primary sludge, and the supernatant is known as the effluent. Now this process, that is filtration and sedimentation, togetherly comes under primary treatment. Here only the physical process is taking place, that is removal with the help of filtration process, and that is second is the sedimentation, that is the waste material or the grit like pebbles and sands are settled down by sedimentation process. Now the effluent is allowed to pass into another tank which is known as the aeration tank. Now comes the secondary treatment. Now this secondary treatment is also known as biological treatment. The reason is that here microbes are involved in the process of this treatment. Now here what happened? Mechanically it is agitated continuously and it is aeration is given continuously. So what happened? There is a development of aerobic bacteria. Aerobic bacteria's number increases. This aerobic bacteria develops and along with the fungal hyphae to form phlox. So what is phlox? Phlox consists of aerobic bacteria. These are aerobic bacteria and fungal hyphae togetherly known as phlox. So this phlox or this aerobic bacteria consumes the organic matter which is present in the effluent, and it reduces the biological or biochemical oxygen demand of the water. So, what is this biochemical oxygen demand? Here the biochemical oxygen demand is reduced by this aerobic bacteria. It acts as a parameter to measure the pollution level of this water. Let us try to understand what is biochemical oxygen demand. Dear children, this is the amount of oxygen needed by aerobic bacteria in water at a particular temperature over a period of time. Let us try to understand what is this amount of oxygen. So, this aerobic bacteria, what is required for the growth of this aerobic bacteria? They require oxygen. Okay. So, this aerobic bacteria, when it grows into this effluent, that effluent is having more organic materials. So, this aerobic bacteria consumes organic matters. Okay. For the growth of this aerobic bacteria, what is needed? Amount, that is oxygen, is needed. Okay. How the tank is getting oxygen? The tank is getting oxygen by continuous agitation and by aeration. As the oxygen level increases in the tank, what happens? The number of the aerobic bacteria increases and it consumes more and more organic compound present in the effluent. So, it reduces the demand of biochemical oxygen demand, that is BOD level. So, if the BOD level is significantly reduces in the water, that means the pollution of the water is reduced. So, we can say BOD is directly related with the water pollution. Okay. It acts as a parameter. So, when this BOD level of the water is checked continuously in order to find out whether the pollution level is reduced or not. Okay. So, when the BOD level is reduced, that means the water is having less pollution. Less BOD level, less pollution. Okay. So, if when the BOD level is significantly reduced, what happens? This water is transported into another tank which is known as the settling tank, where this is allowed to settle for some time. What happens at the time? The flocks which is settled at the bottom of this tank, and it acts as a activated sludge, and the supernatant is known as the effluent. Now, what happened to this effluent? This effluent is transported into another tank which is known as the disinfection tank or disinfection zone, where it is disinfected. If some pathogens are present, it is disinfected there, and then it is released into the water bodies. Now, what happened to this activated sludge? A small amount of activated sludge is taken and it is again added into the aeration tank. Why? It acts as an inoculum, because this activated sludge consists of bacteria and fungal hyphae, that is flocks. Okay. So, this acts as an inoculum or a starter, and it is added in the aeration tank, and the remaining activated sludge are transported or transported into another tank which is known as the anaerobic sludge digester, where anaerobic bacteria that is breaks the aerobic bacteria as well as the fungal hyphae. Okay. After that, it produces gases like methane, hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide. So, this methane is used as a fuel. Okay. So, what you have learned from here, by the sewage treatment, what we are getting, the sewage is treated with the help of microbes, okay, and we are getting a pure water, okay, less polluted water, and then we are also getting fuels. Okay. This is the role of microbes. Let us see once again. So, what are the steps in the sewage treatment plant? There are two steps, that is primary treatment and secondary treatment. In the primary treatment, it is also known as physical treatment. So, whatever waste is released from cities and town, it is allowed to pass through a mesh like structure which is known as the filtration. So, here the process of filtration takes place, and whatever solid material is present in the water, that is filtered out, and then that the liquid waste is allowed to transport, or it is allowed to go into another tank which is known as the primary settling tank, where it is allowed to settle for some time. During this process, that process is known as sedimentation. So, during this process, the grits like small pebbles and sands get settled at the bottom, and the supernatant is known as the effluent. So, the sediments are known as the primary sludge. Now, this is the physical treatment. Okay. So, two steps are there in the physical treatment. One is filtration, second is sedimentation. Now, the effluent is transported into the aeration tank. From there starts the secondary treatment. What happens in the secondary treatment? So, in the aeration, continuous mechanical agitation is given and aeration is given continuously in order to grow aerobic bacteria. So, what happens when the number of aerobic bacteria grows along with fungal hyphae, that forms the phlox. This aerobic bacteria consumes the organic matter which is present in the effluent and reduces the level of BOD. Okay. So, when the BOD level is significantly reduced, this effluent is transported into another tank which is known as the secondary settling tank. There it is allowed to settle for some time, and after that the effluent is transported into the disinfection zone, from where it is released into the water bodies. The activated sludge which is settled at the bottom, a few amount of activated sludge is transported into this aeration tank. It acts as an inoculum, and the remaining activated sludge is transported into another tank which is known as the anaerobic sludge digester, where it is digested and gases like methane, hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide is formed. Okay, children. So, this is about sewage treatment plant. So, children, this Ministry of Environment and Forest initiated Yamuna Action Plant and Ganga Action Plant. In that, they made large sewage treatment plant in order to treat these sewages before releasing into the water bodies. So, we have to treat the sewages before it is released into the water bodies in order to protect our water bodies. Okay. In the next class, we will study about various other organisms, microorganisms involved in the production of various products. Okay, children, till then, bye bye. Thank you.